with love. That's what I get more of, is love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. I start my day with love. When I start my day with love, that's what I get more of, is love. I start my day with love. When I start my day with love, that's what I get more of, is love. I choose love, love, love. Love, love, love. I choose it, love, love, love. Love, love, love. I start my day with peace. When I start my day with peace, I feel that sweet release of peace. I start my day with peace. When I start my day with peace, I feel that sweet release of peace. I choose peace, 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 peace. Peace, 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 peace. I feel it, peace, 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 peace. I choose peace, 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 peace. I start my day with joy. When I start my day with joy, everything I do is infused with joy. I start my day with joy. When I start my day with joy, everything I do is infused with joy. I choose joy, joy, joy. I feel it, joy, joy, joy. Every day it's joy, joy, joy. I'm choosing joy, joy, joy. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace. I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace. I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace. I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace. I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace. I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace. I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace. I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace. I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet.
Good morning, Celebration Center. Welcome to our last Sunday in the month of March. I'm happy that we're together today. My name is Janine Ballou. I am a member of the Leadership Council here at Celebration Center, and I am your host today. Reverend Chris is away for the weekend, but we are so delighted to welcome you. So would you let us know that you're here and say hello in the chat, whether you're on YouTube or on Facebook Live? We'd love to know who's visiting us or here with us today. We have a wonderful service planned for you today. I'd like to start by having you join me in thanking our technical crew that makes this service happen in our streaming fashion, Ivor Tillotson behind the scenes, and others who contribute to making this work seamlessly. I'm the one that is stuttering here, but the tech crew works perfectly. I'd like to also welcome our practitioner who is on platform today, and that is Rich Kurashevich. Thank you, Rich. We are being graced today with a guest speaker. Reverend Cindy Grimes from Ocala, Florida is going to provide our message and be with us today to provide spiritual nourishment as we play together. And as our music contributor, our own wonderful and amazing music director, Lynn Hollyfield, will be providing music for us today. If you tuned in a few minutes ago, you saw the repeating announcements, but I'd like to point out some of the things that are going on in our center at this time. And I'm starting with the most exciting news of all. We're going to return to live services next Sunday, April 3rd. Yes, you heard me right. We're going back to Height Hall. And we will still have mask protocol in place. We will also continue to stream. So those of you who are joining us from afar or would rather stay in your sweatpants, it's okay. Keep doing what you're doing. Do what works for you. But just know that live services start again next Sunday. So we're looking forward to seeing each other in the flesh next week. And I'd also love to share with you that our drum circle led by Brent Mast is also back. And Brent asked that you pre-register if you'd like to join the drum circle. The next one is going to be on April 9th. That's a Saturday. It's going to be from 2 to 3:30 p.m. in Height Hall. And as I said, go to celebrationcenter.org and you can register to join this drum circle. If you don't have a drum, that's okay. Come anyway. It's a wonderful way to get back together. So this is the time that we say our vision together. We do this each week to remind ourselves of where we are headed and also to make sure that we are all going in the same direction. So Ivor, if you'll put our vision on the screen and we will recite it together. So please say this with me. We are celebrating spirit within and knowing the oneness of humanity. And so it is. So please help me welcome our music director sharing with us a song. Welcome, Lynn Hollyfield.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Celebration Center. Even though we're starting with a really cold morning here in the DMV, I'm going to do a song about spring. So happy spring, everyone. Winter fades, forget the cold. Spring greens, they never look so bold. Against blue skies and leafless trees, getting ready to burst out with signs of spring. The spring peepers, birds in song, their business and singing all day long. Bulbs break ground in falling rain, so happy to greet spring again. daffodils, baby leaves, waving wind and give a gentle breeze. Spring rain, rustle streams, wake up roots from your winter dreams. The spring people's birds in song, the business and singing all day long. Bulbs break ground and fall in rain. So happy to greet spring again. Trees dance in the sun, squirrels relax, your winter work it's done. The garden is calling me, my hands in dirt, it's where I wanna be. The spring people's birds in song, the busyness and singing all day long. Bulbs break ground and fall in rain. So happy to meet spring again. I'm happy. Are you happy? So happy to greet spring. Oh, yeah.
Good morning. My name is Rich Kurshevitz, and I'm a licensed practitioner at this center, which is a welcoming community based on the principles of science of mind. First of all, we welcome any newcomers. So if you don't mind, please identify yourself by sending a text in chat and tell us how you found us. Thank you for coming, and we look forward to getting to know you better. Practitioners are trained and then certified over a period of several years to pray or treat by knowing and seeing the truth in any situation. We are available to all of you to assist in a practitioner session or prayer for something you wish to change in your life or for a loved one, or to express gratitude and continuation of something in your life or others. You may submit a prayer request online on our website or via email to prayer@celebrationcenter.org. The Ministry of Prayer and each practitioner will pray on the prayer requests each day for a week. We acknowledge and are grateful for all the prayer requests that are or will be submitted today. We know that all these prayers are already answered as they are thought and written and believed. These prayers and affirmations are set in motion right now, and so it is. Today's reading is by Ernest Holmes from Living Without Fear. It is written that God's words are yea and amen, which means that the infinite does not argue but meets every man's approach directly, always responding by acquiescence to every man's thought. The forces of nature are not coerced, they are directed. So the powers of mind and spirit need not be commanded, but commandeered. They are not reluctant, they are willing. The simplest approach is always the most direct. Believe and it shall be done. Accept and let it be done. Convince the mind and no longer deny the greater possibility. Act as though I am and I will be. And so we pray. Take a deep breath and let it out. Let all the cares of the world, personal and around you, flow out. Take another breath and let it out. And know that as we are breathing in unison, we are breathing in unison with the entire universe. For there is only one God, the one life, the one power, one presence, one mind, one spirit. For God is all there is. God is the living spirit almighty, in all, over all, around all, through and throughout all, as all. God is the Alpha and the Omega. God is the entire universe. And I am that I am. I and God are one. I am an individualized expression of God. As God is all there is only one life. That life is God. That life is my life right now. I am perfect, whole, and complete. And just as I am perfect, whole, and complete, each and every one present is perfect, whole, complete, eternal, and immortal. I declare that we embrace and know the truth that sets us free. We are divine and co-creators and know our wholeness and unity with God and all. We embrace and know peace in our lives as we are strengthened by the light of the divine within. I know that we are blessed and a blessing to all who come in contact with us, for each and every one is the light of the world. I declare that everyone claims and accepts their peace, wholeness, and health. I know that we let our light shine and truly are at peace in a higher state of consciousness than ever before. I'm so very grateful for knowing the truth that sets us free and for the blessings of life. I'm grateful for the divine presence of spirit in, around, and through everything and everyone. I'm so very grateful for all of our blessings, for all the gifts that have been made, for our acceptance of those gifts, for the peace that passes all understanding, and for the harmony in our lives. I am exceedingly grateful for the peace and love that fill our lives now as we transform and reconnect with our higher selves and celebrate life. And I release my word unto the law, where it's already known in the mind of God and is assured of fulfillment. This is the word of God and will not return unto me void. I do give thanks that this is so, and so it is.
So it is. All right. Thank you, Rich. So in keeping with the theme of play this month, and Reverend Chris's banners that she puts up, she has frogs on them. And frogs, the peepers are out, the spring peepers right now. I'm going to do a whimsical song called The Princess and the Frog. It's very clever, by the very wonderful songwriter Michael P. Smith. One day a beautiful princess was walking on the bog, on a slab of peat. Who should she meet but Fred the talking frog? Well, the top of the morning to you, lass. Hello, hello, cries he. I'd be glad, you know, if you'd stop a mo to listen close to me. You see, I've been bewitched, and I'm needing a royal miss, such as your lovely self, to give this ugly mug a kiss. Such a metamorphosis will then ensue, I'll tell you true. I'm really a former prince, and I'll straightway marry you. To be rightful Johnny go there, higgly piggly, down and around to me high low. Harem scarum, riding a white horse to Cranberry Town. Toady, Truman Capote, driving the cycle with Mario Shea. Grants by sea with a right cup of tea on a bleary Sunday morning. Well, I heard the dawn that dance before, said the princess, it's all fine. But if it's a kiss you're after, chances you'll have to stand in line. 'Cause it's frogs outside my castle, frogs outside the royal hall. Frogs are climbing up the chimney, frogs are bouncing off the wall. Frogs are floating on the mountain, on the stairs and on the shelves. If I had to kiss every one of you, Jesus, it's no time to myself. But laddie, let's make it swift, for lately falls the hour, and I'm due back home from me evening shift, a pining in the tower. To be rifle, Johnny go there, I'm higgledy-piggledy, down and around to me high-low. Harem-a-scarum-a, riding the white horse to Cranberry Town. To be toady, Truman Capote, riding a Sligo with Molly O'Shea. Dance by the sea with a rye cup of tea on a bleary Sunday morning. Well, she's just about to kiss him when Mrs. Frog comes hopping by, crying, Fred, you're late for supper. Coming, dear, was his reply. You mean he's not bewitched, the princess said. Just odd, said Mrs. Frog. And into kissing princesses he meets upon the bog. You know, I love me Fred, I fear he chafes his family ties. I'd invite you home for supper, me dear, but he will only have 2 flies. Thank God you didn't kiss him. This is your lucky day. When I kissed Fred, I was a princess too. That's how I got this way. Oh, be rifle, Johnny go down, piggly, down and around to me high-low. Harem-a-scarum-a, riding a white horse to Cranberry Town. To be toady, Truman Capote, driving a Sligo with Molly O'Shea for a dance by the sea with a cup of tea on a bleary Sunday morning. To be toady, Truman Capote, driving a Sligo with Molly O'Shea for a dance by the sea with a rye cup of tea on a bleary Sunday morning. For a dance by the sea with a rye cup of tea on a bleary Sunday morning.
Thank you, Lynn, and I am so glad that you told us in this song it's a good idea to not kiss frogs. So we will keep that in mind. Oh, Celebration Center, don't we have fun together? Don't we know how to play together? Aren't we looking forward, as my cat plays down the stairway in my house, to sharing some fun together? I'd like to introduce our guest speaker. She has a short bio, and I'm going to share that with you now. The saying, "We teach what we most want to learn," explains Reverend Cindy Grimes' passion for Centers for Spiritual Living. In addition to being a licensed spiritual counselor since 2009, Cindy has been an entrepreneur, a social worker, teacher, editor, magazine publisher, and workshop facilitator. The common thread in her varied experiences is the desire to empower people with understanding and practical skills to overcome life's challenges and make the most of their God-given talents and abilities. Reverend Cindy says, "This teaching and the genuine love of my spiritual community has allowed me to transform my life's challenges into great gifts. I can't help but share it with others." Reverend Cindy is a wife, mother, grandmother, spiritual leader of the Ocala Centers for Spiritual Living community, and is here today with us to share her message, So Happy Together. Please help me welcome Reverend Cindy Grimes.
Oh, thank you, Janine. I just, what a lovely group of people. I've been looking forward to this. It's like, how could you not be excited about speaking at a place called Celebration, right? So I've been looking forward to this for a while, and I'm grateful to Reverend Chris for asking me to join you. And so thank you to the team, folks backstage, and all for the lovely welcome. So we're going to talk about play, and it's a fabulous topic. I have learned so much just researching myself. You know, every month we're doing a different aspect of our lives, right? Of our living everyday wonder. And so you all are doing the same thing that we're doing here in Ocala. And this month we're wondering about play. So I thought I'd start with maybe dispelling a few myths and things about play. And so I had something I pulled together from a couple of different places. They were like 19 myths about adulthood that people wish they debunked sooner. This came from BuzzFeed. And then it was like misconceptions that people had about adulthood from when they were kids. So, like, I had this idea when I was a kid. I knew somehow, like watching TV or watching a movie, that the people in the production were actors, like they weren't actually married. So I must have been 5 or 6 years old. And I remember thinking, how is it that these people are kissing when they're not really married? Like there must be some kind of protective stuff over their lips so their lips aren't actually touching because they're not supposed to since they're not married. So anyway, that was just one of the things that I had a misconception about as a child, but I'll read you some other ones that I thought were kind of cute. So one of the misconceptions this person had was that when you became an adult, you got your adult name because I guess I thought, how could people be named Mildred or Bert? How could people named Mildred or Bert ever have been kids? Clearly, they must have been named Cody or Katie and then got their adult names when they became adults. I thought that one was really cute. Okay, this person says, it's silly, but I thought once I became an adult, all my childhood fears would go away. If anything, now I'm more afraid of randomly getting murdered or finding someone hiding under my bed or a closet, and I'm terrified of the dark. No one prepared me for this. This one says, the biggest myth is that people only get acne as teenagers. I now get to battle fine lines and wrinkles along with the acne. That's some BS. I totally agree with you, honey, whoever wrote that. This person said, I really thought that quicksand would have been more of an issue. I've never actually seen quicksand. Yeah, I would have thought the same thing from all the stuff I watched when I was a kid. How about this? Candy, cake, and cookies, the 3 C's for every meal, and that no one would ever say no. Also, Chuck E. Cheese whenever you want. Literally, this one hurts my heart. Literally, no one cares about what grades you got. Do well enough and get yourself to the next level, to college or to get a job, but you don't need to do more than that. Oh, stab me. All those A's and all that work for nothing, right? Okay, this one's good. I assumed that most adults were actually grown-ups. Your parents and other adults are also imposters who don't know what they're doing. Being an adult is just pretending to be one. You're just winging everything. I watch lots of YouTube to figure things out, and then you go to bed and do it all over again tomorrow. If that's not the truth, I feel like I'm constantly winging it as an adult, like I'm just playing as an adult. I'm not really one yet. And I think during COVID, it felt for me anyway, like the curtain got pulled back on the wizard. If any of you have seen The Wizard of Oz, you know that moment where Dorothy finds the wizard and she's shaking and she's terrified, and the curtain gets pulled back and you realize that it's just a person just like her. That's what I have found out during COVID, is that we are all people, just people doing the very best we can. So anyway, there is some some debunked myths about adulthood that some people had when they were children. So if we could put a slide up, I have some myths now that I want to debunk about play. You see, I'm an oldest child, very responsible, and play was something that I always put on the back burner. So here's some ideas that you may hold that are actually myths about play. One of those things is that play is just for children, as if play is a dress rehearsal for adult life, right? We see kids playing house. We see kids playing, my kids play cops and robbers because my husband's a police officer. So it's like people think that play is a dress rehearsal for life. And that's not true, because play is for everyone throughout the lifespan. There's an idea that play is frivolous, that it's just a waste of time. And that's kind of the mindset that I had, right? Growing up as that oldest, very responsible child, it's like, you got to get everything done before you go out and play. Make sure you take care of all your chores, do everything you can first, and then if there's time, you can play. In other words, play is then a reward for good behavior. Also a myth. Play is something, again, that we need throughout our whole life experience. And I'll pull this all together by the end. The other idea some of you may have heard when you're growing up is that play is actually sinful, that idle hands are the devil's workshop. Like there's so many more better things to do than play, right? These are all the myths. So we can take that slide down from there. When here is actually the truth. I believe it was Toto who pulled back the curtain. You're so right. You're so right. It wasn't Dorothy. It was Toto, but Dorothy got the benefit of that, didn't she? So what actually is this thing that we call play? If you try to, just put the words to it. And that actually is one of the things that I love so much about this teaching, is that I get to geek out on the science, because it all fits together. It's not like there is this spiritual truth that is separate from this scientific truth. It's that we find the common threads, the universal truths in all of it. And so I love that I get to bring a little bit of the science into this conversation. So I have another slide that says, what actually is play? What is it? And those are three of my gorgeous little grandbabies playing a fort that's in my living room. So we created a little blanket fort for them to play in. Anyway, what is play? Number one, it's a primal activity. It's actually pre-conscious, pre-verbal, just like digestion and sleep. It's something that just happens. And it has evolved over eons across different animal species. So if you put two kittens in a little space together, it's not like they're thinking about what they're doing. They just play. Like babies, they play, they tussle. It's not something that we have to be taught. It is something that is wired into our systems. Play is also varied. There's different kinds of play personalities and different kinds of play. If you look at those three kids there in the picture, the little one, my little Addison, we call her Sissy. She loves anything to do with colors and painting and drawing and art. Already at 2 years old, you can see that this child has an affinity for art. Ellis is the one in the middle, and Ellis loves anything physical. Ellis is continually climbing on things. He's bouncing, he's jumping. Everything it's running. It's very physical. Grady, on the other hand, he's the little one with the big smile. Grady loves to put things together and take things apart. He loves puzzles and shapes and words and letters. It's just different things that we have an affinity for. So we have different play personalities, and there are different ways that we can play. And then finally, play is actually a state of mind. It's an orientation to life and how we can look at things. So next slide, please. Or actually, let's not go to the next slide. Let's just take this one down for a moment here. So as I said, I was raised to where play is something frivolous, something you put on the back burner, and you do if and when you can. But mostly it's something for kids. And as I said, the fact is that we really need play as human beings, as part of that animal kingdom. We are wired for play, and it is necessary for us. So we're actually, we can put up the next slide now, built to play and built through play. So here's some more of that great science. Play actually shapes the brain. It helps make animals that play smarter and more adaptable. So all that time when the kids, my grandchildren, are playing with their puzzles and their colors and things like that, it's creating different neural connections. It is actually making them smarter and helping them with problem solving. Here we go. Play fosters empathy as well and makes complex social groups actually possible. I don't jump in so much when the kids are tussling or arguing, because I understand that it is through play that they learn how to get along with one another. Play, of course, this is an easy one, is at the core of creativity and innovation, right? This is how new things come to be invented, by people putting things together in new and different ways, just trying stuff out, just having fun. Play eases burdens, energizing and enlivening us. Oh my gosh, if that's not the truth. And finally, it renews our optimism, showing us new possibilities. So I wanted, in that picture that you're looking at, that is me. And I'm dancing with actually a virtual figure. I don't know how many of you have seen this. This was a traveling exhibit, apparently, down at a beautiful garden in Sarasota, Florida. And what happens is you point your camera to this, what was an empty area, essentially. But when you point the camera, you point your phone, right, with the camera, the images show up in the camera. They're not showing up in reality. So this, I'm dancing in the background, not seeing anything, but my friend who was taking the picture could see the image there and kind of tell me where to be. So anyway, it was great fun, but what an amazing possibility that here is a mixture of virtual world and real world coming together. That was just one of the exhibits. There were several others that were just incredible. You can take the slide down now. So, for example, one of the images was an exploding vase, vase, and it opened up and it had tons of beautiful flowers. It was huge, butterflies and flowers and birds, and then it burst. And the butterflies were flying, and the birds were flying, and the flowers were just exploding everywhere in the just all kinds of color and beauty. It was just amazing. Another one of the exhibits was like a funhouse mirror where you stand in front of the camera, take a picture. You're all distorted, even though you look normal. It was wild. But anyway, that's like the wonder of play. So the story that goes along with that, yes, amazing virtual reality. So over the last, Christmas holiday, starting Thanksgiving and all, I had an opportunity to go to Jamaica. I also was planning to go to our retreat, to the CSL retreat in January. So the opportunity was presented for me to go to Jamaica, like fully paid trip, actually. I just had to get my airfare. Everything else was going to be covered. But I started having to juggle time and things having to get done. And there was all of the hustle and bustle around the holidays. And so I actually opted not to take that trip and put a lot of other things on the back burner, like what happens during the holiday season. Things get really, really busy. There's all this work to do. There are all these family gatherings. Plus, I was going to go to California in January. So it didn't feel like such a sacrifice at the moment to say, well, I'm not going to go to Jamaica and I'm not going to go here and spend this money or, play right now so I can get all my work done and have my plate, clear in January. And so what happened, went through all the holidays, worked my booty off, got to January, and there was another COVID spike. And then there was all this question about whether it was even safe to be on the plane again. Like all of that, we thought COVID was done, and here it was back again. And so the decision came down of much thought and contemplation and conversation with family and friends to not go to California. And I can't even tell you how distraught I was, literally like sobbing. Like I put all of these other things off so that I could have all of this time to go to California and have a vacation and get away. And gosh, I haven't been that upset in a long time, literally sobbing. I thought, what is going on here? I must need more rest. Maybe I'm not, I'm not resting enough. I just need a little weekend getaway or something. And so I ended up calling my dear friends in Sarasota and said, I would just like to come and have a quick little getaway, maybe a couple of days. And I got there and got to hang out. That's where that picture was taken, one of those pictures. And I realized while I was there, it wasn't rest that I needed. I sleep plenty. I walk every day. I get plenty of exercise. What I needed was to laugh and play and have some fun with my friends. That was what I needed. And I think that's probably the next slide. It should say, there we go, so happy together. There I am up in the corner with my dear friend, Reverend Teresa Fieberts from the Center for Spiritual Living in Sarasota, CSL Cultural Coast, and John Moore, who facilitates family constellations and is a Course in Miracles teacher. We went out to the beach, ended up being the coldest day probably of the year to be out on the beach, but it was so much fun. You can see people twirling, what do you call those things? The hula hoops. And this woman who had this incredible cape with all of these lights in it. And there's Teresa with the crazy, weird dancing guy. I think there's another picture maybe after this. Some more stuff on the beach. Yes, yes, yes. This is one of those ginormous, it was a huge sand sculpture that someone spent hours making and then just put little signs on it all around it. This one of them says, if you're looking for a sign that says things will get better, here it is. It will. Please hold on. You can't change the past. You might not have a future. The only time that matters is right now. Stop fearing. Forget the past and future. Just be you. It was just such a beautiful, thoughtful, kind thing to do. And I'm sure this guy had a blast just playing with the sand and creating this amazing, imagery and these messages that had no real purpose other than to just kind of make people smile, I guess. Which brings me to the next slide. What are the properties of play? How do you know you're actually playing? Well, the first thing is that play is apparently purposeless. It's actually just done for its own sake. You just do it for the pure joy and love of doing it. It's voluntary, right? Nobody makes you play. It makes you feel good. It's fun. It's freedom from time. When you, for those of you who love to paint or those who play music, or when you go out and have a great run, it's the moment when you lose time. You just get lost from time. There's also that feeling of being less self-conscious. You don't worry about what people are saying or thinking about you. You can just dance and be free. It's being open to serendipity and chance. Play isn't planned out. It's like, who knows what's going to happen next? And you want to do it again. We can take this one down. Oh, I love that picture. Those two folks are in my congregation. It was just a moment of play at our center. We do things a little different at CSL Ocala since we've been coming back in person. And I'm so excited to hear that you all are coming back in person. That we figured out during COVID that you can get a great message from anywhere, anytime, sitting in your pajamas, right, in your living room or in your bed. And so what we wanted to do was create fun experiences for people to gather, because I can hear a great message right from home. If we're going to have people get together, we might as well have some fun, right? So our first week of the month, we do spiritual practices around whatever the topic is. The second week is a more traditional talk. The third week, we have circle discussions. We have conversations that are around the topic. And then the last weekend of the month is just some kind of entertainment. Maybe it's a concert or a karaoke night or a poetry slam or a movie, but some fun experience for people to gather around. So that picture was actually one of our events as we were just practicing play, just having a good time as a community. So, we need one another. We need one another to pull us out of these funky places. Thank goodness I'm part of a community where everybody isn't falling apart at the same time. We take turns, and there's always the jokester who's here to give you a hand and lift you up when you're feeling down. And people who like to play in different ways. We have a gardening circle. And we have a circle of people who are medical professionals. And so, they play in that realm. We have people who love to cook, gathering in those kinds of circles. So, play is an essential. Let's do another slide there. I want to read a quote to you. as I bring us into the home stretch. In many shamanic societies, if you came to a shaman or medicine person complaining about being disheartened, dispirited, or depressed, they would ask you one of four questions. When did you stop dancing? When did you stop singing? When did you stop being enchanted by stories? When did you stop finding comfort in the sweet territory of silence? Where we've stopped dancing, singing, being enchanted by stories, or finding comfort in silence is where we have experienced the loss of soul. Dancing, singing, storytelling, and silence are the four universal healing salves. And that comes from Angeles Arian in a book called Maps to Ecstasy, The Healing Power of Movement by Gabrielle Roth. So yes, you can take down the slide. Singing, dancing, playing, laughter, telling stories. These are the things that make life fun and worthwhile. It's like, what is all this work for if you can't cut loose and have a little fun? I probably don't even need to tell you these things. At a place called Celebration, you probably have a better handle on it than I did. but in the event that you are still one of those people who, like me, was thinking it's all about the work, it's how much you get done, it's how much money you're getting paid, like, right, those are how we tend to measure our success in our culture. And what is all of that for if it's not to enjoy our lives in the ways that make our hearts sing? So I want to put up, I think I have one more slide for you. Maybe, no, a couple more. Here is the real kicker, y'all. The opposite, that's what we say in the South is y'all. The opposite of play is not work. The opposite of play is depression. Boom. I love the aha moment. We can take that one down now. Yeah. Yeah, that was an aha for me, right? All of that sadness, that distraught was, oh my God, it was a sign of not that I hadn't slept enough, right? Or that I wasn't taking care of my body physically. It was that I had not allowed myself to have that time to play. And so I just implore you, encourage you to, if this is not a regular part of your life, schedule it in. Like I know it's supposed to be spontaneous, but like leave yourself a space in your schedule, once a day or once a week that is just yours, that's just to play. As we had our circle conversations this month around this idea of play, one of the ladies in the circle said, now I'm looking at my calendar and realizing that the only space I have for play is a day coming up in May when there's nothing on my calendar. Wow. That's an aha moment, isn't it? Right? To think that something as vital as play, that we could say, well, yeah, I might have some time, 2 months from now or 6 or something to put in a day for myself. If nothing else, I hope this conversation has brought it home to you, the importance of making time for you to play. Now, if you're thinking still, you don't know my life, you don't know what I'm going through, put up the next slide. This is Viktor Frankl. And for those, probably most of you know who he is, the Holocaust survivor. Frankl lost everything. He lost members of his family. And there was a point where the Gestapo, the soldiers, even took his wedding band, took a manuscript that he had written, threw it in the fire. And he watched all of this taken from him. And here is what he had to say about his experience of being in the concentration camp. I would never have made it if I could not have laughed. Right? Laughter lifted me momentarily out of this horrible situation, just enough to make it livable. So if Frankl is telling you that play is necessary, that laughter is necessary, and that it was possible even to find it in the most horrific of circumstances, you can find that. You can find it for yourself. I know it. And if you are already a player, if you are already out there, you know how to have fun, bring the rest of us along with you. Share this, let them know how very, very important it is to take that time to play. I'm going to share one more story. You probably have heard this too. This comes from Stephen Covey, and the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. You know the story of the woodcutter? He's in the woods and he's sawing away at that tree, and he's sawing it and sawing it. And the little kid comes by and says, "Geez, why don't you sharpen your saw?" And he says, "Who has time for that? I'm too busy cutting trees." Don't be so busy cutting your trees that you don't take time to sharpen your saw. And now we can put up the last slide. And this is our affirmation. Take this with you into your week. Short and sweet and simple and to the point. I am joyful in my community. Take that with you. And so it is. All right, I guess it's time now for me to take us out with a prayer and then pass it back to our wonderful celebration team. And so I just invite you to take a moment and turn your attention within. And if you don't want to close your eyes or you can't close your eyes, just make your gaze soft. Releasing everything that's come before this moment, any worries or concerns about what may come later, and just be present now. And breathe into that power and presence that runs in, around, and through all things, that is guiding us in every moment. The air we breathe, it is part of our whole environment, our everything. And I just affirm that as each one goes into, each one of us, our respective life experience this week and these coming months, that everything is unfolding in its perfect and right divine order. That anything that looks like it may be an obstacle actually is seen as a stepping stone to your greater success. I just affirm that everyone here makes the time, finds the time, has the time to rest, finds and has the time to play, and that they feel the joy in that deeper connection with themselves, with spirit, and with spirit as it shows up as this beautiful divine community. I'm so grateful for this time we've had together. I just affirm whatever needed to be said was said, whatever needed to be heard was heard, and that people take this message on into their day-to-day lives, and that it helps somehow to make your experience a little brighter and a little bit better. And I release these words with joy and with gratitude for Reverend Chris and for all those on this call. And I just give thanks for all of you. Release these words with joy and gratitude and great expectation. And so it is.
Oh, that was beautiful, Reverend Cindy. Thank you so much. I'm going to do an original song. And I think it fits with the topic, and it's a song about having the strength just to be ourselves and play. I'm grateful for playing music. Here we go. It's called Still There. The winter is long gone, spring is moving along, soon to be summer. Why are you feeling so cold? Wondering about this time and place, wondering about the human race. Do you miss the fire inside of you? It used to be the change of season, didn't need no reason. You just would wake up and take the world in your hands. It takes more courage now. Be strong no matter how. Muster up the truth and keep on being you. Nothing has been the same. Wouldn't want it that way again. Just take some kindling to warm up the stubborn cold. Wondering about what to make, wondering about the time it takes Will you feed the fire inside of you? It used to be the change of season, didn't need no reason. You just would wake up and take the world in your hands. It takes more courage now. Be strong no matter how. Muster up the truth and keep on being you. Candles just need a flame. Fireflies need summer again. We all need something, although we try to go it alone. Then you hear a pretty song from birds that wintered long. Do you hear the spark inside of you? It used to be the change of season, didn't need no reason. You just will wake up and take the world in your hands. It takes more courage now. Be strong no matter how. Muster up the truth and keep on being you. The next day there's a simple twist. Everything seems to fit. You see the sun, even when it's behind the clouds. The warmth sure makes it clear. You see the rainbow in the years. Stokes the fire inside of you. It used to be the change of season, didn't need no reason. You just will wake up and take the world in your hands. It takes more courage now. Be strong no matter how. Muster up the truth and keep on being you. It takes more courage now. Be strong no matter how. Muster up the truth and keep on being you. Muster up the truth and keep on being you.
Thank you, Lynn, and thank you, Reverend Cindy. Beautiful messages reminding us what important times it is to learn to remember who we are and adopt play as a practice. This now is the time in our service for our gifts and offerings. We are a tithing community at Celebration Center, and we do rely on the tithes and gifts from our congregation. But please know that your presence, as well as the love, time, talent, treasure, and play that you bring to this community is a gift to us, and we are always grateful for it. There are several ways that you can give. If you're in person, which will be again next week, we'll have donation baskets. You'll remember them. They'll look familiar to you. If you're online, you can visit our website at celebrationcenter.org and click on the Give button. You're also welcome anytime to mail your gift in, and the address on our website, Celebration Center, you can mail it to the office and we will receive that gratefully. I'd like to invite you now to join me in reciting our offertory affirmation together. It'll be on the screen. So if you want to put your hand on your heart and say with me, I open my heart to give and receive the blessings that are Spirit's promise to me. As I do, the entire universe conspires to give me an abundant life, and I open to accept it, and so it is. We'll now receive a blessing from Rich Kurashevitz, our practitioner.
Take a deep breath and let it out. And relax in the knowing. As we now bless these gifts that are donated now or coming to the center, as we know they are given from the Spirit and from love within, as we practice the law of circulation. Money is energy. We express gratitude for this flow of energy of good that is motivated by love and spirit within. These gifts come into the center and go back out to benefit the community and then come back to us multiplied as good is multiplied. I do give thanks that this is so, and so it is.
One, two, three, four.
All God's critters got places in the choir. Some sing low, some sing high, some sing out loud on a telephone wire. Some just clap their hands and pause with anything they got now. Listen to the bassist, one on the bottom where the bullfrog croaks and the hippopotamus moans and groans with a big to-do. And the old cow just goes moo.
Ooh, the dogs and the cats,
They dig up the middle where the honeybee hums and the cricket fiddles, donkey brays and the pony neighs, and the old coyote howls.
All God's critters got a place in the choir.
Some sing low and some sing high, some sing out loud on the telephone wire. Some just clap their hands and paws or anything they got now.
Listen to the top
Where the little birds sing on the melodies with the high notes ringing, who down over everything, and the jaybird disagrees.
Singing in the nighttime, singing in the day. The little duck quacks and he's on his way.
Possum ain't got much to say, and the porcupine talks
to
to
himself. All God's critters got a place in the choir. Some sing low and some sing high. Some sing out loud on the telephone wires.
Some just clap their hands and paws or anything they got now.
It's a
Simple song, a little song everywhere, by the ox and the fox and the grizzly bear, from the alligator and the hawk above, and the sly raccoon and the turtle dove.
All God's critters got a place in the choir. Some sing low and some sing high. Some sing out loud on the telephone wires. Some just clap their hands or paws or anything they got now. All God's critters got a place in the choir.
Some sing low and some sing higher. Some sing out loud on the telephone wires. Some just clap their hands or paws or anything they got now. All God's children's got a place in the choir.
So, Reverend Cindy, would you like to offer a benediction?
Sure. Thank you. Oh, I love James Dillett Freeman, and it's such an easy, wonderful little prayer that he says, that the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, The power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And I just pray and affirm that all is well in your life as you go into your life experience with joy and with a sense of play and a love of life. And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, Reverend Cindy. Thank you all who make this service happen today. Thank you for all of you who are watching us. And if you want to continue to play with us, which we hope you will, we're going to switch over to our Zoom link. You'll find that at celebrationcenter.org. Click on Join Zoom Events, and we will have a community time where we can share with each other, see each other's smiling faces, share what we're playing and what we're going to be playing this week.